Okay guys, this is a 2001 Ford Escape. A very interesting problem on this car. The when you start the car, everything is okay, it runs great. Check engine light is on. I did not even pull the codes. I don't think I'll need it anyway. The main problem is when you start the car and you turn the windshield wipers on, car shuts off. Now let's verify the problem. Okay, car is running fine, no drivability issues at all. Let's turn the wipers on. There's a rear, front. As soon as I flip the switch, car shuts off. Let's do this again. Turn it up, turn it off. It's not cranking anymore. Huh. Okay, so the car is dead right now, like you won't even crank anymore. Alright, that's fine. Let's, so, how are we going to approach this problem? You know, it's right now actually we pretty much have a no crank. This has actually never happened before. This is just now happening that I do not have a car is not cranking. Now, why this happens? For the first thing we got to do, let's look at the diagram. Okay, so here's the so what you want to do is see what else is on this circuit. Now the power side is not a problem because now before I start the motor was replaced and the switch was already replaced. The wiper motor was replaced and switch. Now if of course it can be a problem where you have excessive current on the wiper motor and it blows the fuse to something important, shuts the engine off or shutting the computer off. Now that's not the case here. The fuse is fine. This is all every time you start the car, you know, turn the windshield wipers on, shuts the car off. Now the fuse is fine. So let's see here. We have a windshield wiper motor here, and we're looking at the ground side. It's ground 108 behind left front radiator support, and see what else is on this circuit, on this ground that can cause this problem. We have ABS control module, that's not going to do anything. ABS test connectors, nothing. Engine cooling fan, for this is for 2.0, and this is a V6 engine, so that's not the case. Compressor clutch, that's not going to do anything. High speed fan control, no. Rear windows defrost, no. Fog lamp, and a PCM power relay. So we need to check this PCM power relay to make sure this relay is getting ground on the control side of the relay. This can affect our circuit. If you have a bad ground, and we're overloading the ground with the windshield wipers on, it's gonna turn this relay off. Okay, so now I got my adapter in, and this I sorted these wires. This is green and blue is my low side of the relay. Red and black is my control side of the relay, and I'm on this black wire, and I have my test light connected to the battery positive, and the light is lit, which indicates good ground. But this is so let's go to this side, and of course this is going to be power from a power control module. So let's see, once I put the relay in, I can find it. There it is. So I'm gonna go in the car, crank the engine over, and see if you're gonna lose this ground. Okay, so it's not cranking again, so let's check the make sure that we have a power on the power side of the relay. Let's put this in ground. Okay, I got a power here, and so let's see if the when I turn the key on, this is gonna close the relay and send the power to this side of the circuit on the load side. Okay, so it's not getting the this relay. It's not closing. So now let's go ahead and leave this on the ground and go to this leg here, which should be the computer should energize this side. Let me just take the relay out actually. So this is the control side of the relay. Let's just turn the key on and see if the computer is energizing this side. Okay, so computer is energizing the relay. So let's go ahead and put the relay in and see if it clicks. Nothing. Okay, so definitely problem on the ground side of this relay. All right, so let's go ahead and put test light to battery positive. Go to this side, and the test light is not lit. So we have an open on this now. Since we've been playing with this windshield wipers, now it's completely no start due to a completely open on the ground side of this relay. Now I'm going to use a jumper wire, and I'm going to jump the I'm going to provide ground to this leg here, and the car should start, and I should be able to turn the fans on, the wipers on, and the car should not stall anymore. So jumper wire to battery ground, and you can see that actually wipers are working right now, so the car should start at this point. Okay, so I'm providing the ground to this relay. Car is running, and the windshield wipers are working, and the car is not stalling. So let's turn this off. All right, I take the ground out. All right, so I'm going to disconnect this ground wire, and it shuts right off. All right, so right now it's kind of funny because this is actually the first time it happens. The car would no longer run. It would shuts off. Before it would shut off when you turn the windshield wipers on. So now I have to dig and find this ground, and most likely it's excessive corrosion on it. And so let's fix it up. Well, this sucks big time. So when I look at the diagram, it says ground 108. It's over somewhere around a left radiator's bracket or support, whatever. And then when I look at the component location, it said the ground 108 is actually behind a block, kind of right. It said it's this one here. And now car actually runs. That's what happens with these intermittent problems. It wasn't intermittent, but now everything's fine. Car starts. There you go. Now it shuts off. Sweet. And now I lost the ground again. I'm gonna put the voltmeter on that ground wire and see if there's any voltage drop from that point to the battery. Put my one lead to a ground and the lead. Okay, let's turn the key on. Let's see what happens. Alright, so let me just, I have to see what's going on with the key in the crank position. You guys seen it, I didn't. Okay, so if this is the correct ground, you don't have a problem on the ground wire. Now there's going to be a splice somewhere down and underneath the fuse box, and I have to dig that out. So anyhow, my ground connector, it's now, you know, my point on the block, it's not a problem. So alright, I have to dig more. So right now I'm still on that. I actually moved my lead to a ground side on the relay, and my other lead is on the ground. I'm sorry, my hands are shaking. My other lead is on the ground of the battery, and when I turn the key on, we have a 10 volts, so we have a voltage drop. So now it's not on that. So I just have to look for you know, for some kind of corrosion or whatever it is to find the problem. Well, I'm struggling, so I got my test light connected to this ground side, and I'm wiggling the wire trying to see. It's nothing. I can't now. It's completely dead, which is okay. It's so frustrating when, you know, I don't have good information, not knowing. So this is my ground wire. There's supposed to be one that's, you know, 108, and one information said it's behind the radiator, one says it's here, and so there's going to be a splice somewhere. It says near the junction box, but I have no idea where it's at. I have to open up this harness to see if I can. But again, I mean, I didn't find any ground points around the fender at all. Like, you know, I got a headlight out and all that, so all right, I'll have to dig out some more. Well, pull this wire, and it looks like it's like a splice here. It's supposed to be the ground, but right in here, when I wiggle now, it's okay. This is crazy. So anyhow, this needs to be bolted back, and right now, when I tag on this wire in the relay, it's acting up. It's kind of weird. I mean, you wouldn't think they would not have anything at all. Look at how it flickers right there. When I put to the ground, it's better. So anyhow, I'm gonna bolt this to here. There needs to be, or somewhere else. I think it's supposed to be right on that. Yeah, radiator support, so it's supposed to be here. So let's actually see if it's going to start now. Now the windshield are working. That's crazy. The mass airflow sensor is out, so let me just wiggle this thing. There you go. Shuts off. Well, it's because of, yeah, it's acting up. So anyhow, I'm gonna get this bolted back. I'm really confused, to be honest. You know, this is the see right there. I lost it. You know what? These two plates. When you there you go. That's cool. Look at that. Nice. So this so you know, this was getting to ground on one point, you know, from the block, but because it's not bolted to the radiator support, you know, these two plates are not making a contact correctly, and that's pretty cool. Woo! All right, sorted. That's what our fella across the pond would say, sorted. All right. Okay, good. All right. Okay, I bolted my ground right behind this bracket here. I'm not crazy. I'm not very happy about it because it has a rubber grommet, but that's the you know, the best way I could do. Now I could use this one here, but this is from a headlight. But I'm afraid if I run the wire across this edge here, it might cut the wire. So I mean, this will be okay. I just don't know exactly what this wire is supposed to be bolted to, but you know, this will work fine. All right, let's put everything back together and finish this one. All right, the windshield wipers are working. Let's start it up. Oh, that's airflow sensor. All right, that's better. All right, well, this is fixed. And so anyhow, on this car, this is my co-worker, and her husband drives this car, and she told me about this like a week ago or so, and it's, you know, this kind of weird problem, and you turn the windshield wipers on, and car shuts off, and I said, okay, well, before I do anything, I need to look at the diagram. And as soon as I look at the diagram, I noticed, you know, you got to look what's in that circuit. Something is loaded that circuit, what can affect the engine to shut off. You know, the ABS module wouldn't do it. Of course, I don't know what else it was, but the main relay, certainly something you have to kind of pay attention to. And but I mean, from the get-go, I had direction, you know, what to check. And now, of course, this being, you know, intermittent, but it was more often than not. But you can see sometimes it would run and not. What confuses me the most, you know, on these electrical issues, you know, you touch something and they think it goes away. It's amazing how that works. You can see those two pressure plates, you know, they of course they have to be pressed together, you know, to you know, to have a current. But you know, how is that working? You know, it is so amazing that, you know, they are still open at some, you know, they're not pressed together, and that sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So it's just so fascinating when you know, work on electrical stuff, you know, how much, you know, you just can't touch anything, you know, to, you know, you're gonna get, you know, your problem goes away, and then it may appear a couple days later. But you know, this, I, you know, connected my test light, you know, when I with a key off, you know, it was a good ground. As soon as I turned the key on, you know, my test light was dim. I had, like you could see, it was a 10 volts of a voltage drop, and I'm wiggling the wire trying to think that to duplicate the problem. I couldn't see anything wrong with it. You know, I could not find where the problem was until I literally just pulled that wire, look at the diagram, and it was a black and orange wire. So I kind of look around and see if I can look, you know, see that wire, and I looked at the harness and all that. So anyhow, long story short, this one is fixed. But interesting, you know, how they could, you know, where to start. You know, you turn the windshield wipers on, and you know, car shuts off. So now everything's it's working fine. So, all right, guys. Well, this was fun. It's so freaking hot in Kentucky nowadays. All right. See you next time. Bye bye.